Scraps, scraps, and more scraps. We've all got them. Every layout we work with, we create them. So today I'm playing along with Baby Got Scraps with a dedicated layout to just using scraps. The criteria, we're allowed one 12 by 12 and then the rest needs to be made up with scraps. I don't know, are you like me? Do you have loads and loads of pieces of paper left over from a layout? This is one recently that I completed, and I am going to utilize most of this leftover scraps that you can see here, and I'm going to incorporate it into a layout. Now these are from the Sun Loving collection from Scrapbook Fantasies, and I'm going to build these blue monochromatic pieces into a workable layout. Let's buckle up and see what happens when we play with our scraps today. So first of all, I have these two chippy pieces here. One's for my title and another one is an embellishment, and I'm going to just ink it up with some blue oxides. I'm using Tumbled Glass, Salty Ocean and Prize Ribbon today, and I'm doing an ombre effect across all of them. Now I like using the oxides on the chipboard. They do go on smoothly like cream, like butter, and then you can blend them nicely together. And these three work beautifully for a monochromatic approach to the colouring of your chipboard. So over time, the colours soak in and they get softer, and I just like the overall effect that it has on the chipboard. Some people like to keep the chipboard raw. I don't. I like to colour mine, and I have found oxides a great way to do this so that it looks very effective. So I'm just blending in across here, as you can see, and I'm using the inks that are left on my board to help patch in any spaces. And look at that, doesn't it look effective? It's just really subtle and very simple to achieve by blending the colors together. And when they dry, it will look so much better. I like to say when they're cooked. I'm just going to add a little bit of water over the top to lift some of the color, to give a little bit of a mottled effect as well, as you can with oxides, and leave that now perfectly to dry. I'm just going to clean up my board. That's the beauty of the glass board. You just wipe it over with water and you're ready to go for your next part of the project. All right, so I'm cleaning up, making sure that I've got all that ink off, because it's really quite staining if you leave it on. Now let's get to pulling our scraps together. So I'm just going to trim down this piece here, and this is going to be the bulk of my layout. It is going to cover the left hand side. I am using the white, so remember we're allowed scraps, so I'm going to gut it. That's then making this white gutted and therefore a scrap. So I can use that white to match my photos. I'm going to cut 4 1/4 inch strips out of this granite type paper, and that's going to become the border of my layout. And then I've also cut this 1 inch strip here, which I'm going to use a border punch to create a decorative edge for the joining of the panel to the white. I just like the finish that it gives in the end. Now I am terrible at border punches. Particularly the smaller ones like this that have a small part for the punching. I often misjudge it and miss bits, and then when I go back over it, I have to realign and sometimes cut out that punched edge and make a bit of a mess, but that's okay, which you will see I will do here. And when I go back, I make a mess and it chops out a bit, but that's all right, because I end up covering it up on the layout with some photos and embellishments, and you don't see that part. So don't panic if you do make a little bit of a botch with it. You just play with it and you can cover it. Now I'm using my Creative Memories cutters, and I mentioned in a previous video that I was having terrible time with the cutter and not getting it to work. One of my beautiful viewers, I forget who it was, but whoever it was, thank you very much for my subscriber and giving me a tip. She told me to turn it over and put it into the shell of the casing, and look at that. Not so much of a problem now. I really appreciate the tip. Thank you, thank you. It has made a game changer for me using these blades. Not so terrible now. I am happy with it. So thank you, whoever, and put a comment down below if it was you, because I really do appreciate that feedback and that assistance. It makes all the difference. So I'm just cutting out circles with the leftovers here, because I'm going to do a panel down to the side using the colors and papers. And I'm just going to now start building my layout. Now remember, with scraps, we have heaps. I don't know about you. Every time I cut into a piece of paper for a layout, I always end up with a pile to the side. I need to, like, I don't know, maybe not cut into paper so much. But anyhow, I'm going to do a few this week of Baby Got Scraps personally designated layouts too, using up some scraps because there are just so many of them. I went away last week with my friend and created 8 layouts, I think, all up, with most of them from pre-made page kits that I'd purchased in the past, but even those created scraps. So I have a whole pile of scraps from that one as well. So I'm going to work on using those up. I will do a reveal of all of those layouts later on in the month or the beginning of February, where you will see those layouts that I created when I was away. But my goodness, it is amazing how quickly they accumulate. All right, so you can see now that I've put the panel down and I've put the punched border, and I'm now adding those strips around the edges to edge my layout. And look at that, it just looks like a polished full layout, like I've put a lot of effort into planning this with a lot of pieces. Now I'm putting down these circles, and they're just going to go in and around on this panel just to fill in some color, because we all know that I can't cope with a plain white panel. And later this week, Wednesday, don't forget, come back and check, because I'm going to do a white canvas chronicle where I am using a white cardstock and some colors to create a layout, because it is a challenge for me, seriously a big challenge, to use white cardstock and keep it minimal. So let's see what I create on Wednesday. But for now, we're just layering up these circles piece by piece. I'm just playing with them. There's no rhyme or reason to where they're going to go, just like trying to balance the colors really. A lot of it will probably get covered up when I complete the layout by adding in my title and my embellishments, but that's okay. I'm just building it up, and I've learnt to get over that if I cover it, it's okay, it's all right. I used to panic and worry about that and think, oh, what was the point and what was the purpose? The purpose is that I'm building the base of the layout. The purpose is as though when I'm building the base of the layout, it's like I have got a piece of paper sitting there. So I cover up piece of paper with the photos, so it's okay if I cover up what I do when I'm creating the base. So that's a little thing I've had to learn to let go and work with, and that's okay. I know it's there, you know it's there, because you saw it as we put it down, and it just helps to build the overall appeal of the layout. Now, these photos were taken just on my trip away recently, just last week. We spent the day exploring. My friend and I, when we get together, we do what we call little road trips, and we like to get lost. Like even in Alaska, we did a road trip, and we went to the end of the road, literally to a road ending that had a sign that said the end of the road. Wished I'd taken a photo of it. It was classic. But anyway, we do travel around and we do a little bit of exploring. This day we went to Nora Head Lighthouse, and my girlfriend who lives up there has never even been in the lighthouse, and we were lucky enough to be able to do a tour, and it was great. You know, so I was pretty happy that she climbed to the top and got out on the balcony of the lighthouse, because she's afraid of heights, but it really, really was beautiful. These photos were taken as we were climbing up inside the lighthouse and looking out through those windows that you can see on the side of the actual structure of the lighthouse there. The view is amazing. The lighthouse keepers tell us that if it is a really good clear day, they can see all the way to Sydney and see Centre Point Tower, which is pretty amazing given that we're about 150 kilometres away from Sydney. So it's pretty exciting, and it was a great day, and the weather was just perfect, and you can just see, look at the view from those windows. No wonder people as lighthouse people get to see such amazing things. I'm just tucking in a few little embellishments here. I have put in a journaling pad there that just says that we're at Nora Head Lighthouse, and this was the view from the windows as we were climbing to the top. There were 90 steps we had to go up inside that lighthouse, so that was pretty amazing, and I like that I was able to do that day. So I have a lot of photos from that day, a lot of photos from that lighthouse, so they will be appearing on layouts shortly. So I'm just adding a little bit more with the leftover scraps, and I'm just contemplating where I'm going to add them in. I want some banners added in, some fishtail ones. So I'm just cutting those, and that's just done by folding the end and cutting a triangle from the center to the edges, and that creates a really quick, simple banner for you to include on your layout. Now I'm trying to get a little bit of balance by having the same colors, but as you can see, it's just coming together piece by piece, and I have no plan for it. It is as it is, and one piece at a time it's going into play, and that's really important when you're working, to be open to change and additions as you see fit throughout. So I'm just going to put these banners across. Now the darker blue one is a little bit short, but that's okay because I'm going to pull it across the center there, and you'll see it here. And then I changed mine and I'm going to pull it right across, and I'm not going, because I'm going to cover up that white gap there, so it's okay. See, I'm going to put a triangle in here and a bit of a triangle in there. And then I've realized that if I do that, I'm going to cover that circle a bit too much. So I'm going to rearrange those a little bit so that that triangle can go in there as well, and add a little bit more extra of that pattern to the layer. And I'm just loving how this is all coming together so easily. And, you know, it's just patchworking, pulling it together and creating a visual scape for the eye to roam around and look at. So my photos are now ready to go on to the layout. All of these have been matted on scrap. There is not one full sheet being cut into to mat these photos. You saw that I took the white from behind, and I also had the white where I did the journaling on. So all of the scraps have come together quite easily on this layout and are creating a very visually sound composition, which, you know, is just playing with shapes. So I'm putting in my journaling block there, and I'm going to move that banner again just so that it comes out behind it a little bit more. So I haven't actually raised anything on this one. Most of it is flat. When I put the chipboard on, that's going to put some dimension into it. And then I have this lighthouse, which I'm just going to put in behind. Of course, it's a red striped lighthouse. We don't have red striped lighthouses so much here in Australia. Ours are kept pure white. I think that was a thing of the past with the red. I did learn that the red window, so in every lighthouse there's a window that's red. So the red window is to warn sailors that they are to head out to sea. They're coming too close to reefs, and they are to head out to sea and then come back to shore when they can't see that red again. So it's really, it was quite an interesting tour, and I like learning historical things and new knowledge. So that was a bit of knowledge that I gained about lighthouses that day. So that was pretty exciting. And I do have a photo of the red window, which I will do on another layout very shortly. So I've just popped down the camera there. Now I have all these fussy cut pieces, and I'm just looking to see what else. I don't think I need the second lighthouse on there. I do want to add something else down here. So I've got a little bag, a little beach bag, which I'm going to put in, tucked in behind the camera, and that's going to be popped up a little bit with some dimension tape there. I'm going to put a little starfish in as well, just tucking in that little embellishment there to add a little bit more. Now I would like something over to the left near that the lighthouse, but I'm not quite sure what I want, and I don't think there's anything there that I do. So I've pulled out the second half of one of these sheets that I've used, and this has got some fussy cut embellishments on it, so I'm going to just cut in the safety ring there, and they have those around the lighthouse as well. That would have been for major storms, and so they can help rescue if they needed to. And then I'm adding in an anchor, and I'm also using some thongs, so that thongs or flip-flops, depending where you are in the world and what you call them. We call them thongs. So I'm going to add those there just as a little bit more of an embellishment onto the layout as well, just to build that whole beachy feel to this whole overall layout. And I like how this has come together. It's quite simple, and as I said, it's all scraps. It was very easy to pull together. and I like the overall effect. I'm just going to cover up the photos here now because I'm going to put some splatters onto the layout, and they're going to be using the tumbled glass distressed spritz from Tim Holtz, which I love, and it's a dark blue come out on here, but when it dries it's got a very metallic shine to it, and I do like the overall effect that it has. So I'm just putting some around the layout. I don't need it overly everywhere, but just a place here and there. It is the tumbled glass one. It is a lovely blue, and I love how this has turned out. So the finish off, of course, I need my little pops of colour in my sets of 3 to set up my visual triangle so that the eye just roams around your layout nice and easily. Flicking it underneath allows it to flatten out, and that creates that faux enamel dot fixture. And that's what I call a wrap, everybody. There you go. It's all scrap. It all came together, and it was a pretty simple layout design in the end. Got a vertical and some circles and tags, and there you go. You too can create. Please, by all means, don't forget to follow me on my Facebook page and share if you have a go at this. I would love for you to share on my Facebook page. There is a full playlist that will be linked down below so that you can check out everybody playing in this great hop. Baby got scraps. Seriously, we've all got scraps. We need to use them up. We loved them once, let's love them again. Check it all out for everybody. Go and leave them some love. We really do appreciate when you look at our work. And this is the wrap. Thanks everyone. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hype me if you're on digital devices, and if you're new, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to reach 1,000. Here's my next video for you. See you there real soon.